Montesquieu was a French political philosopher whose principal work, The Spirit of Laws, was a major contribution to political theory. He wrote The Spirit of Laws and he is thinking about how to organize a government. US government is influenced by Montesquieu because the constitution was written during the Montesquieu era. He gave an idea of separation of power. The Spirit of Laws is one of the great works in the history of political theory and in the history of jurisprudence. In The Spirit of Laws, he did classification of governments, abandoning the classical divisions of his predecessors into monarchy, aristocracy, and democracy. Montesquieu produced his own analysis and assigned to each form of government an animating principle. For instance, he said that the republic is based on virtue, the monarchy is based on honor, and despotism is based on fear. His definitions show that this classification rests not on the location of political power but on the government's manner of conducting policy. It involves a historical and not a narrow descriptive approach. The second of his most noted idea is about the theory of separation of power. Dividing political authority into legislative, executive, and judicial powers, he asserted that in the state that most effectively promotes liberty, these three powers must be confided to different individuals or bodies acting independently. Society for Montesquieu must be considered as a whole. Religion itself is a social phenomena, whether considered as a cause or as an effect, and the utility or harmfulness of any faith can be discussed in complete independence of the truth of its doctrines. For Montesquieu, certain things are intrinsically evil: despotism, slavery, and intolerance. Although he never attempted an enumeration of human rights and would probably have disapproved of such an attempt, he maintained a firm belief in human dignity. After the book was published, praise came to Montesquieu from the most varied headquarters. The Scottish philosopher David Hume wrote from London that the work would win the admiration of all the ages. The Swiss scientist Charles Bonnet said that Montesquieu had discovered the laws of the intellectual world as Newton had discovered of the physical world. The philosophers of the European Enlightenment accepted him as one of their own. The work was controversial, however, and a variety of denunciatory articles and pamphlets appeared. Attacks made in the Sorbonne and in the General Assembly of the French clergy were deflected. But in Rome, despite the intervention of the French ambassador and of several liberal-minded high ecclesiastics, and despite the favorable disposition of the Pope himself, Montesquieu's enemies were successful and the work was placed on the Index of Forbidden Books in 1751. Montesquieu was dismayed, but it was a momentary setback. He had already published his defense of the Spirit of Laws, subtle and good-humored, but forceful and incisive. This was the most brilliantly written of all his works. His fame was now worldwide.